Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this edition of Yorkville Sports. You're in the nest, the Eagles Nest, and I'm your host, Joe Patrick. Well, here with me today is the director of the tackle football program, Daquan Hawkins. Daquan Hawkins is also the director of the travel basketball program, and he directs the rec league for Yorkville. So, Daquan, this is the first time you're here to tell us about the tackle football program. How are you?
I'm all right, man. It's good to be here to finally talk about the football program.
All right. Well, you know, the football program is alive and kicking. It's been around for a while. So, Daquan, how has this Yorkville Eagles program, as far as football, how has it transcended from the beginning till now?
That's a good question. Well, we're going into our 9th year of football in this coming fall. I've had the honor and the privilege to have been around for 8 of them.
Okay.
And where we've came from when I first started coaching in the program to where we are now, it's huge. I mean, we've started off with, a number of kids who wanted to just play, who didn't know anything about the game, to having an undefeated season, and having to also rebuild, because that's what programs do. You have success, and you have to rebuild. So we've had, our ups and downs, but going into our 9th season, we had a very successful year last year with our teams. We had our peanut team, which is our 9 and under team, go to the championship, lose by a touchdown. We've had our junior midget team this year, our 12 and 13-year-olds, make it all the way to the playoffs. We got a bunch of good wins this year. Excuse me, got a bunch of good wins this year. And now we're moving forward. So we want to continue to take this program to the next level. And we do a lot of things that many other programs don't do that I think a lot of people aren't aware of. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here this evening to get on the Eagles Nest to talk about our football program, because we have to get it out there more and market it more and let the families and the parents know what our program is about.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start with the younger team then. Our, what we call the Pee-wees?
Peanuts.
The Peanuts. I call Pee-wees Peanuts or whatever. They're no bigger than a bug. If you flick them around, you might even step on one of them. It's so tiny. But these guys have a lot of heart. Now, I've been at a few games, and if you look at your monitors, we're just going to show you a couple of the games that we did see over the years and last year. And I have to tell you that I was pleasantly surprised by the enthusiasm of this young team. And some of the players, they're very colorful, to say the least,
Well, they're young. I mean, they're a bunch of good character kids. I mean, you have what I typically used to call them, I used to call them grass eaters, because you got a bunch of kids that just want to come out on the field and they're off in the clouds. And what I tell a lot of parents, because a lot of parents get concerned about football, especially at the peanut level, when you have 9 and under, which is 9, 8, some even had a 6-year-old play, is that it's the cutest form of football you'll ever see. Meaning it's a bunch of little kids in uniform with their helmet on, and they're playing football. The coach is on the field with them, so they're kind of moving them around, so it's almost like chess a little bit, but they're just out there to have fun. This is the introduction to tackle football. They're not doing special teams, which is kickoff, kick return, punt return. They're just playing football. And like I said, they're not fast enough to really create a big impact on anybody, so we've been fortunate, knock on wood, to not have any major injuries on that level for as long as I've been in the program.
Okay.
And they always have fun. I mean, that's what football is about. You're talking about 11 kids on the field, probably 17 to 25 kids on a team, and they have to work together to accomplish a goal. And that's what they learn at this level, and they learn responsibility, discipline, dedication, commitment. They learn all of this at such a young age. And it's beautiful to see. And that's what I tell parents all the time, is that, it's the introduction of football. The practices, yes, they can be, you know, rigorous because there's a lot to learn. You know, when people play flag football, and I get this call all the time, my kid's a stud flag football player. I tell the parents right there, I said, hey, flag and tackle are two different sports.
Okay.
You know, so it's something that you see, especially at that level. And we've had fantastic kids on this team. That team actually had 2 sets of twins on it. So, you know, we were able to have a lot of good characters, and they just have a good time, man. And that's what you want at the peanut level is they just want to have fun. Let them have fun. And that's what we do, you know, we aim to do every year in our program for their team.
All right, so now getting involved with the tackle program at that young age, is it that there's not an actual tryout, is there? Or is it, how do you work that? How do you recruit or get your players?
That's a good question. And by the way, registration's open now. You can register online through the website, yyaa.org.
Okay. He had to throw that plug in there. You know, I mean, you know, we around here, you know, that's something you pay for. You got to write us a check for throwing that plug in there.
I'm the plug, man. Don't worry about it.
So
the unique thing about tackle football, which is still a travel sport, compared to any of the other travel sports, travel baseball, travel basketball, is, and it's sort of an unwritten rule, but it's not, is that we don't offer tryouts. We can't try out. We accept everybody who wants to play, you know, and that's whether you've never played football before or you've played tackle football somewhere else and moving into the town to find a tackle football program. We accept all players. If you have a desire to play the sport, that's all you need to be on this team. And that's the unique thing about tackle football versus other sports where it can be a little stressful having to go to an audition sort of in basketball or baseball and finding out that you didn't make a team because of your skill set or whatever. You know, you could have just been that extra player on the roster that they couldn't take. In football, we can carry 30 kids on a roster. So, you know, even my junior midget team this year had 35 kids. So we take, if you want to play, come play. And that's what Yorkville, that's what we're about. You know, we can go out and recruit kids. We always ask parents to advertise the program to other players to get them in the program. But if you just want to play, you just have the desire to play this game, we're here for you so you can come in and play this sport.
Okay. Now, we don't want to we don't want to muddy the waters or anything like that. But, you know, some parents are reluctant to bring their children, their kids, their boys primarily, out to play tackle football because they're hearing a lot of noise about concussions, sports-related injuries that are contributed to the play on the football field. And so on, you know, some of they're afraid that their best friend is going to be their orthopedic doctor. So, what can we say about that in terms of, you know, the safety factor of football at this level?
Well, our top priority as a program here at Yorkville is safety. Right. And it's funny how you just used the reference that a player's best friend may be an orthopedic doctor, because we have 2 kids in our program whose father is an orthopedic doctor who allows his boys to play tackle football. Now, we also have a certified athletic trainer on our sidelines who's certified in in diagnosing and seeing if a player actually has a concussion.
Right.
So we're the only program actually in the city, youth, or even at the high school level. Now some of the high school levels are getting certified athletic trainers because there was legislation passed for that. But we've been doing this already for 4 years.
Right.
So we're ahead of the curve in terms of maintaining safety amongst our players in that sense. You know, the doctor whose sons are on our team is always out there willing to help. And he was able to help us at a few games. But like I said, we have a certified athletic trainer at every game who's on our sideline, you know, looking at our players, whether it's a head injury or otherwise. And we know the rules to this. And we're not trying to bend any rules. That we understand that if we even think a player has a head injury, their day's over. You know, and it may be to the dismay of a player sometime, and I've had this conversation with players very often, our concern is their safety.
Right.
If they want to play the sport, we want them to play it for a really long time and not let their playing career be cut short because of a decision that we make as coaches or directors. So we do our best to maintain the safety of the players. Now, is this a collision sport? Yes. But we have soccer, we have baseball, we have basketball. Head injuries can occur in any of those sports.
True.
Head injuries can also occur at the playground, in a play date. They can happen anywhere. So my thing is, and what I tell parents all the time as well, is to just trust in us as a program to do right by their family and their child. And I say this to parents as well, is you, the parents, are trusting us with your most important asset, and that's your child. So if you're trusting us with your child, we want to make sure that we cash in on your trust by doing all the right things necessary, by making sure they're equipped properly, making sure they're measured properly for equipment, making sure that they're not put on the field until the coaches feel that they're ready to be on the field, because we don't want them to hurt themselves or someone else because they're not prepared. And we have all these rules in place starting in training camp. Right. They have to do a certain number of hours without a helmet before they can get a helmet if they're a new player. Then they have to do a certain number of hours in helmet before they can go to shoulder pads. Then they go into shoulder pads, then they go to full pads. So it's a progression to the process that we stick to develop our players. Okay. And it's been fantastic, and the parents who've been around the program for multiple years see it, and that's why they stay in our program.
Right. So it's not really, well, we play organized sports, we want to win, but it doesn't sound like it's all about winning here. It sounds like there's an air of let's teach the kids the right way. Let's teach the kids the right way to play the game and be safe and have fun. And then let's go win and kick the can down the road. Some spanking, that kind of stuff. But that's what we do. Right?
No, you're right. I mean, wins and losses, they matter, but they only matter as much as the players allow it to matter. The coaches want to win, right? The players want to be competitive. What I tell the players and the parents also is, we're here to get you ready for the next level, which is high school. We want to make sure all those kids go to high school and play high school football somewhere, which, by the way, if you, just to let you know that in our short history, we've been able to send multiple kids to high schools all up and down the East Coast, in New York City, where they're competing at the next level. So we want to make sure that the players are developed right to be ready for that, and in the development, the wins will come.
Well, you know what? Not only that,
Why choose why? Yorkville is the largest contributor to youth sports in Manhattan, servicing over 4,000 kids annually from pre-K through grade 12. With parent participation and professional coaching, Yorkville is the place where families grow. Sign up for spring today by going to yyaa.org, click on your program of your choice, and sign your kids up. Or you can call us at 212-360-0022. So why choose why? You know why. Yorkville. We are sports.